welcome to the third lesson on this team course on occlusion, specifically looking at the periodontium and dentition. Now let's spend some time now finally talking about the teeth, right? And when you think about it, teeth that look good or look decent are usually functioning pretty well, right? And teeth that don't look so good are usually not functioning very well. So let's take it a step farther and say, well, there's probably a reason that the shape of our teeth are the shape of our teeth. So when you think about it, nature did a great job creating a system for teeth to help protect each other, back teeth to help protect front teeth, or what we would call mutual protection. So when we squeeze our teeth together, we would like those back teeth that have this big old foundation to take the majority of the load so that our front teeth, which come together at an angle, aren't beating each other up because they're not made to squeeze on each other. And conversely, we would love it if when we move our teeth in any direction, the back teeth come apart and the front teeth protect the back teeth. So as you watch this video here, you can see the cuspids, as we move in any direction, the cuspids are taking the back teeth out of play and allowing our front teeth to be our guiding teeth and our back teeth to be protected from that. Conversely, when we look at back teeth, and we now imagine standing in the back of your throat and watching your teeth move as your jaw moves side to side, you can really see that any direction we move, the front teeth are guiding apart the back teeth, but right as they come together, the back teeth are taking the maximum squeezing. So you got your squeezer teeth in the back, and really all you want them to do is be your squeezers. And you got your guiding teeth in the front, and you want those to take the back teeth apart when you move your jaw in any direction. It's a great system, well thought out, but doesn't work well in every human being, as we know. Another look at this with real teeth, as you can see here, again, as the jaw moves towards your left on the screen, as the lower jaw moves towards your left on the screen, you can see that the cuspid is still touching, and it is made with these great smooth surfaces to guide the teeth and to keep the back teeth apart. And even when we move our jaw forward, our front teeth are made with these nice edges to, when you come all the way to the edge, a nice place to sit if you want to sit there. And again, the front of our lower teeth and the back of our upper teeth are nice and smooth to help guide each other and protect our back teeth from touching when we move our lower jaw forward or into protrusion. So what a great system, right? So what happens then when our squeezers try and be guiders? In other words, when our jaw moves one side to the other and those back teeth are still touching, and any surface, and it's usually on one of those inclines, well, it's not made to do that job, and that's when we see some broken porcelain, or we see cusps that break off, or fractured teeth, or sometimes, again, loose teeth. We go back to the periodontium again. So when our squeezers are trying to be guiders, usually one of those bad things happens.
Your teeth.
And what about when our guiders try and be squeezers? So our front teeth, again, are not designed to come together with all that load.
Rehabilitation.
You'll see porcelain break, as you can see here, or you'll see teeth on the front that start to break each other down because they don't have the support of the back teeth. And again, when we're missing a lot of back teeth, we oftentimes have no choice. Our guider teeth have to become our squeezer teeth, and things will break down. And these are the conversations we can have with our patients about helping guide them to health. Let's take a deeper look into why a squeezer can't be a guider. Like, why is it that the back teeth break? Is it just because they have four cusps and they're a little fatter? Well, there's more to it. Our system with our joints and our teeth and our muscles, it creates what we call a class 3 lever system. And I'm not going to go into all that with you. But what I want you to see is that there's a fulcrum point, which is up where the ball and the socket are. And there is a power point, that's our muscle pulling everything forward. And then there's resistance, so when the lever tries to close, something stops it from closing, and that is our teeth, right? Well, in a class 3 lever system, the farther away you get from the lever, the less load it has to take. So front teeth, if we look at pounds of force, front teeth usually have about 25 pounds of force on them when we squeeze our teeth together. The closer you get to the lever, so about the premolars have about 125 pounds of force. And as you get even closer to the lever, the molars have 200 or more pounds of pressure when we squeeze together. So now think of what happens when we're squeezing together with our jaw slightly off to one side. If those back teeth are touching, under the lever, remember we talked about the masseters and the temporalis and even the medial pterygoid. When those huge squeezer muscles are firing that close to the joint and we're not lined up properly, that's how teeth break or bad things happen. So I hope that lever system helps you identify why squeezers have trouble being guiders and also why guiders have trouble being squeezers eventually. So as we talk about this lever system, let's talk about how the lever works with teeth, because that's what we're talking about in this course, is teeth. So as we close the lever and teeth stop the process, where the teeth are determines the position where the mandible is. In other words, when the lower jaw comes together, the teeth don't interdigitate, and so the lower jaw has to shift forward. All of a sudden, the position of the mandible has to change, or the ball in the socket, going back to when we talked about joints and centric relation, right? So if the teeth don't interdigitate properly, then the ball has to come out of the socket just a little bit. So to create a stable intercuspal position, the patient has to be able to close repeatedly into the same mandibular position. And that's really difficult if the ball isn't in the socket, and you can see how that will have a deleterious effect on the teeth. Another way to think about that, or to word it a little bit differently, is that joint loading during closure, or how much we can load the joint, is really dependent on how the teeth are coming together. So remember when we talked about joints, we said, man, we'd love it if the ball is in the socket and the teeth come together. Well, conversely, if where the teeth come together actually affects where the ball is in the socket. And again, this whole thing about occlusion always goes back to the chicken and the egg. Which is affecting the other, and which do we fix? And we're going to go into that in a little bit as well. So to recap then, if we don't look at where the lever is with respect to the teeth, you might see something like this happen, where with the photo on the right, you can see that there's space between the second molar after a crown was removed and the tooth below it. But the jaw is actually moved forward, right, into maximum intercuspation. Well, when the jaw moves back into the centric relation position, you can see the photo on the left, there's hardly any space. And if we don't evaluate that position, as we talked about in the course on joints, we're going to struggle with putting teeth where they belong and having teeth function properly.
They were like right here.
So although it's slightly repetitive, we always hear it different as we learn more and more. So as you look at this diagram one more time, again, if maximum intercuspation, or where the teeth interdigitate, is down forward of the condyle being seated, or that orthopedically stable position, that means that the lateral pterygoid is always being pulled forward. And if we don't evaluate what happens when the jaw goes back up in there, then we don't really know where to put the teeth. And so I hope this diagram helps you. And I hope looking at the way teeth function a little bit with respect to everything else has helped you in this lesson. And I'll see you at the next lesson.